Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. Welcome to Open Office Hours. I think it's funny. It's like, obviously, it's right at 9. I don't know if you guys can hear this cuckoo clock in the background. Anyways, welcome. We're so happy to have you. For those of you that are joining for the first time, welcome to Open Office Hours. I'm Crystal. I'm part of the team here at Synchro. I will let the ladies introduce themselves.
Hey, everybody. It's Tatiana. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brandy. Nice to see you guys today.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. I'm Hannah. Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday. And thank you all for joining. For those of you that this is your first open office hours, I'll give you kind of a little bit of the housekeeping stuff. So we use the Q&A. That's the best way that we can monitor questions as they're coming through. We use the chat amongst ourselves to provide links and things like that. So if there is like a deep dive available or a KB that we link in the chat, be sure to click on that while we're in the broadcast, because it will go away once I end the meeting. But yes, any of your questions, you can just use the Q&A. We go through those. So if you do see us glancing over, that's what we're doing. Just kind of going through that queue. If there are any questions that we cannot answer, we'll let you know. And it might be whether it's a support ticket or just something we need to look into further. But any questions are totally acceptable. They can be anything from how to, maybe you've not even ever looked at Synchro or you're trialing, to you've been with us for a while and you need some very specific insight. So whatever those questions are, please feel free to just drop those into the Q&A. And then I'm super excited. We have Jahmaul that's joining us today from our technical support team. I think he was with us maybe a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago now. Geez, time goes fast. So welcome, Jahmaul. If you want to, yes, perfect. And maybe if you want to introduce yourselves and tell everyone what you do here for the company.
Hello. Yeah, as she said, my name is Jahmaul, and currently I work on the technical support team. And yeah, I was here almost a month ago.
Awesome. Well, we're so happy to have you back. It's very, very helpful to have different members of our team just to help us with those technical questions. We're all on the sales team, so we look at things just a little bit different than people on our technical support team. So we're very happy to have you with us today. So I haven't even looked at the Q&A. Do we have questions coming in here already?
Yep, there's one question I can go ahead and grab. And Mitchell is asking, can we get alerted to host name changes in Synchro? That's not part of the notification set. I don't know if they're, unless you guys know something. I did confirm, I looked through all of the notifications and I don't see one for that in there. But if you know something different, let me know.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's see here. I see another one in here. I haven't read it yet. I'll read this out loud from Derek. Can we find a way to force sync assets to update system specs? For example, when IP addresses change or we add more memory to an asset. So Derek, this question comes up, I would say it comes up probably almost every open office hours, just different ways to force a sync. And I know that there are multiple ways. You can actually just go to any policy that has that asset on that you would want to update and like click save policy and it will update all of the assets. That's kind of like my quick way that I know works. Anytime you change anything on the policy, it'll force that sync. The agent checks in for sure every 6 hours. And then there are obviously different alerts that are in real time and that sort of thing. But when it comes to system specs, you can force that sync by just resaving the policy.
Awesome. Thank you, Crystal. There's a question about DOMOTs and Syncro and if we have a chart that compares the feature sets. We don't have a chart that compares that, but we did just recently, was it last week or the week before, we did a partner webinar with them. So I'm going to grab the link from our YouTube channel. I believe it's on there, and I'm going to drop that in the chat box for you guys.
I can grab this next one at the top here. It's from Warner. He says, can we get a quarterly option for script schedules in the policy module? At this time, if you are looking to run a script on a schedule within Synchro over in your policies, let me share my screen for those of you guys that don't know. Maybe you're looking at Synchro for the first time. If you go over to your more section and under policies, in any policy, you will be able to run a script on a schedule. So I don't believe quarterly is available, so I can pass that along as a feature request, but let me just double check one thing. Maybe you can do something like every 4 weeks, something like that. So yeah, you can say weekly, every other week, or monthly. Or I'm sorry, not every 4 weeks, every 12 weeks would probably what you would need to do. So yeah, right now monthly, yes, I can pass that along for you. Maybe if you're doing like a scheduled type of maintenance before you have your quarterly meeting with your customer, that totally makes sense to me. So yes, I will pass that along for you.
Garrett is chiming in. I love our community, by the way. Thank you for chiming in. As you guys know, there's new features that come to Synchro all the time. And there's small quality of life features, there's huge features, and there's so many that sometimes we don't even catch it. Garrett says, for sync, wasn't that an awarded quality of life today? A for sync button. I truly don't know, but it could be, and that's awesome. And if you all don't know, in our subreddit and our Facebook group, we do a quality of life community-driven track feature request list. So a couple times a month, I believe, they open it up for like 24 hours. You can share your quality of life features, small quality of life features that you all would like that will make your job easier, help you work more efficiently. And then we choose one to release. It seems like we've been releasing one like every single week recently. And it comes directly from you guys. So it sounds like this was one that's awesome because I'm super excited about it and you don't have to use the workaround. But let me check into that too and see if it was awarded today, like announced, or if it actually came today.
There's a comment down at the bottom, Brandy, from Garrett, if you want to take a look at that.
Subreddit from Andy, to be clear, this is going to be a force full asset sync action on the asset records. It will be a one-off action and it will not be available as a bulk action, a scheduled action, or anything in between. Awesome. I did check. It's not there yet, but that's awesome. I'm super excited. Thank you, Garrett.
I love it. I think what's crazy about this is that what just happened is an example of how quickly we move on things and how as a sales team, we're constantly learning. We're constantly trying to keep up with all of the things that we're developing. And has this been released yet? Where is it on the road? I mean, so things are happening so fast. So I'm glad that you guys are following those posts and keeping up. So thanks for that. I was gonna grab a few of these, and honestly, Jahmaul too, if you have some input here. So the question is, can you explain the rationale for system checks on assets and provide some use cases? Are these specific to the individual asset, or can these moved from host to host? I don't understand the purpose or concept. So the way that I think about system checks, and I can share my screen here really quickly. You're gonna see the slide here for a sec. I didn't get rid of that yet. Let me go into a policy, because for those of you that maybe haven't seen, or it's not in a policy, sorry. Let me go to an asset. For those of you that haven't seen system checks, the main way that I think about this is essentially to like ping a website, almost to like ping if the internet goes down. So like you can continue to ping a website. So like, let me add, so it can be either a ping or a web server check, enter your remote host information and have it just like check every so often. I've seen it used several times like that. I also know that, this feature has been, on an asset level since we launched Synchro. There's a lot of different things now that you can do with the SNMP module. And I don't know about the other people on the sales team, but I can't really speak to if SNMP is a full replacement for this, but I know that when I've talked to MSPs, the main use case is to ping a website. So hopefully that helps. And hopefully I answered your question.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, next question here I have, how do we set up ticketing so when tickets are created or changed, multiple recipients receive the updates? So this is going to have to do with your functionality with being a subscribed to a ticket. So let me go ahead and share my screen and show you where to find this section. If we go over to more and or actually it's going to be here under the assets and RMMs, or under ticketing, I'm sorry. I wanted to show the settings and the feature at the same time. So let me get organized here for a second. If we go over to more and tickets, we'll look at this from the ticket perspective first. So if we go over to a ticket and we click into any one of these, you do have to make sure that the ticket is not assigned to you, because you can only subscribe yourself to a ticket. You cannot subscribe other users yet. We do hear that request very, very often. And I know with how quickly we ship, that will be available at some point in the future. Again, no timeline on that. But right now I am the assigned person to this ticket. So I'm going to reassign to someone else. So we're going to assign it to Amy here. So now that this ticket is not assigned to me, I can now subscribe to this ticket. So you do that under actions here, and then you say subscribe, third one down. So now anything basically that happens on this ticket, you will get notified about it. So the reason how you choose what you want to be notified is going to be here in the admin section. So if you head over to admin and then over to your notification center, again, this is going to be done on a tech per tech basis. You can set this up as the MSP. Please make sure the checkboxes are actually selected. Sometimes this gets missed and then you're like, this doesn't work. Just make sure it's selected there. And then below that, if you just search for here, I believe it's going to be under the tickets section. And you can say a ticket that I was subscribed to or received some type of notification. So this is where you would find that setting in there. Hopefully that helps.
Awesome, thank you. Warner has a question. What's the best way to group assets by business or owner? And so I'll go ahead and share my screen here. And so I'm in the Assets and RMM tab. And so when your assets are deployed, they would be attached to a specific customer. If I wanted an easy search by that, you can go ahead and use the search bar up here. We also added a new feature in the saved asset search where you could go ahead and filter by specific customer. So if I wanted to see all of Larry's assets and manage those in bulk, I could go ahead and create a saved asset search by that customer, or even add in more granular options, see all of Larry's assets, select all, and then manage here in bulk. Another easy way to get there is from the customer page. And so since everything is in there for you, you would also have a list of all the assets attached to that client, be able to hit view all, and then a list of all the assets attached to that customer would be here for you. And then with the contacts that are in there, you can assign assets to specific contacts as well.
Thank you, Hannah. A couple of questions in here I have. So Corey's asking, is there an onboarding service offered by Syncro? If not, is it possible to get a few members to offer up their general setup to help us get off the ground running? Excellent question. While we don't have an onboarding team today, it is something that we're working on internally. And we do want to provide a lot of resources to you so that you shouldn't need that. I will let you know on Tuesdays, we do have, if you are in a trial, we have training Tuesdays for you. It's more of setup and walkthrough, and we can help you out with that. Inside of your account, you also have a training tab. So with this, we have a getting started with Synchro guide. If you pop into the knowledge base here, you're going to have a getting started with Synchro guide that you can go through. It'll kind of go down the line of order of importance of what you should do, right? You want to set up your customers first and then move on to ticketing and invoicing and assets and things like that. We also have in that training tab, you're going to see that we have some videos. Now, I like these videos for the big modules inside of Syncro. So customers, right? Contracts, SLAs, products, policies, assets. These are some really great videos. Our subreddit as well as Facebook group are a really good place. I have seen some people offering up some consulting services inside of our Facebook group, and we do have a contact if you need that. But if there's anyone in here too that you would like to link up and share your information and be willing to help a user, that would be awesome. I have seen it happen before, so feel free to drop us a message. If you want to send it to us privately, we can pass it along to the gentleman that's asking too. We want to make sure that we can help you in any way possible. And then of course, if you've had a product tour with one of us, then feel free to reach out to us if you have specific questions too.
Okay, I guess I'll jump in and answer this one for Patrick O'Connor. Looks like you have a couple of questions here. So you're asking one tech per ticket. How's the best workaround for this? I think the best workaround for this may be for you to set up a ticket automation. And with a ticket automation, so when a ticket is created, saying a certain status, all the techs can get maybe an email or something saying that a ticket was created, so they can view that ticket. Let's see. And can I create a view for all my tickets, which also includes tickets I'm subscribed to? For that, are you saying like you can only I don't think you can create a certain view for the tickets. Like you can only view one ticket at a time. I may need more of a description of actually what you're trying to do as far as when you say create a view. And right now you can't change the view of a ticket, like the layout of a ticket when it goes to the ticket screen. It's just default. Is it possible to have bundles of products as a single ticket item entry? The best way to do this is maybe to look at the bundles, because you can do bundles and you can bundle products together. And I guess I'll just put this in the chat window. So I'm just gonna put a link to this in the chat window. Let's see, feature request, ticket line items list, the description field that's up in the UI. Could it perhaps be spread across more horizontal or have a description? And for that, okay, I see this feature request here. For that, I would say you might want to put in the ticket for that, so we can add that as a feature request, and maybe even include a screenshot so we can have a good understanding of what you're actually trying to accomplish.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we have a question from Vladimir. Do you plan on adding any other providers for ACH payments? We are always looking at new integrations, of course. I don't have any details on that. I know, it's been known that we would love to have additional payment processors. I don't know what that looks like and which one it would be, and if they would have an ACH option. Right now, Worldpay is the only one that we do integrate with that allows ACH payments. But more information to come as we get it. We'll be happy to pass that along with integration requests too. If there is anything in particular that you all would like to see, please let us know. And especially for those overseas, I know a lot of you can't use a couple of our payment processors. Let us know what you guys use. That helps our team, especially if there's quite a few of you from the same area. We'd love to look into that for you. So we appreciate that. And then I see one in here from Warner asking if there's any marketing materials available for help with selling Synchro features and add-ons. I'm going to drop our marketing materials in the chat box for you. We have some really great ones. It's very easy with a couple clicks of a button to customize. Your logo will be on there. It's going to be white labeled, but you can share those with prospective clients. It won't say Synchro on there, and it'll basically sell your services and everything that you can do for them. And as we get more marketing materials available, then we will make those available to you all too. And then Vaughn has a question about an official Synchro repository of SNMP recipe templates. We don't have an official one yet. We did have a user that created one and shared it with us, so I can drop that in the chat box for you too.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandy. I just am going to read this from Liz. We moved from Kaseya to Syncro a couple weeks ago. So yay, welcome. We're happy to have you. One of the features that they're missing is in the Live Connect application. This application allowed us to have tabs. These tabs allowed us to work multiple machines at once. Could you see this being a feature within Synchro Live? So, I mean, I'm sure most of you know, with Synchro Live, I mean, you absolutely can be connecting to more than one machine at a time, and it'll put new browser tabs. So I don't know if we really plan on putting that right within Synchro Live. I know we've got kind of some stuff on the way around remote control, so I'm happy to pass that along, but we're very happy to have you. So welcome, Liz.
Thank you so much, Crystal. I have a question here from Vaughn. He says, we don't bill from inside Synchro. We use Zoho Come on, integration. Is there a way to manually mark tickets as billed? Yes, you can. This is an interesting scenario. There's at least 4 different ways you can do this, but I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible and try to keep these questions moving as well. So real quick, sometimes even if you're not using, whoops, let me make sure I'm sharing the correct screen. Can you guys see my screen? This ticket? Okay, there we go. The little green outline was missing, so that gave me a panic attack that I was showing you the other secret tabs. So real quick, in here in the ticket section, in here you can build custom ticket statuses, and you can say if a certain ticket status is resolved, and then you can also say like something like resolved dash already billed through Zoho or something like that. What I would personally, encourage you to consider, if you are open to thinking about it in a different way, is even if you're not emailing invoices from Syncro, you can still turn these tickets and wrap them into invoices and then mark those as paid. So then you know that those are matching in Syncro versus in Zoho, if that makes sense, even if they're not being sent from Syncro. So that would be another way to do it. You can do that in our recurring invoices. I'll drop our billing video on exactly how to set up those recurring invoices. And again, your customer does not need to know that you are pulling in all the pending ticket charges, adding it to the invoice, and then changing it to a specific status. That can be just for your own records to help you stay organized. So hopefully that is helpful to you. And I'm gonna go ahead and drop that billing link to the billing playlist over into the chat box in just a second.
All right, who's next? Is it?
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I have one for James. Forgive me if I pronounce the last name wrong, but Stahl. Let's see. So you have a question. So yeah, I guess Tatiana answered the question regarding. So you're trying to send an email to a client that has multiple contacts. So like when the ticket's created, I guess all the recipients that you specify get an email when a ticket is created, something like that. So if you go under the customer and you click edit, there's a space that says additional notification email addresses. You can add the email addresses there. So those contacts will be notified also on ticket changes and things of that nature. And you also can do it under the CC. If you have the email addresses, you can also, in a ticket, there's an area to CC. So you can add those email addresses to the CC area also, so the clients will get emails regarding those tickets.
Jahmaul, do you mind, since the notification on the customer side, do you mind sharing your screen? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Because we actually added a lot of different notification options in the actual customer record. So I would love for you to show that.
Yeah, so this is it. I haven't had a test it, but this should work for you. So you go here. Okay, can you see my screen, first of all?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so just want to make sure. So yeah, this is my test customer here. So if you go to this edit right here, and so you have this additional notifications, you can put the email address in here for the clients to get additional notifications. Then if you want, invoices, additional, them to be emailed for an invoice, you can also put it here. And another place where you can do this that I was speaking of is here in this CC area here. So you can add additional email addresses here also.
That is super helpful. Thank you so much.
You want me to, are you up, Tatiana, or should I go?
Yeah, I can go. A question from Caleb. He says, does Synchro have any official integrations with Jira or other products? Not at this time. We do have an open REST API, and we are adding apps to our app center so quickly. I think there's been like 6 or 7 within the last 2 or 3 weeks. And that is because of the open REST API. So people build integrations to us, and then they email our integrations manager, and they say, hey, can you please add our app card to the app center? So most of our new integrations do come through like that, unless they are built from our side. So usually if there's something you guys are currently using, this is how I would kind of approach getting that built, is reaching out to that company that you want to set up with Syncro and ask them to build an integration with us, because we do have an open REST API.
Awesome. Thanks, Tatiana. I'll grab this one from Andy. Not a technical question, but desperate to trial a new backup service to replace my current one. So, yeah, we hear you. I feel again, this is one of those things giving dates of when we're going to release a huge new feature is a scary thing. So I will refrain from giving dates. But I feel super confident. So please just be patient with us. When it's released, it's going to be awesome. It is going to be awesome. So please just hang in there with us.
Awesome.
Okay, I'll go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to answer this one from Jason. So you have here, is there a way to mark tickets as closed if there is no bill for them instead of staying in resolve so they no longer are in the list of tickets? You can add your own ticket statuses. So if you want to create a closed ticket status, you can create that closed ticket status. Now, if you don't want if you don't want the tickets to show up, so in order for the tickets not to show up, so I'm trying to make sure I understand. If you don't want them to show up, like when you view on all the tickets, you can, and I'm just going to share my screen so I can show you where you can change certain things here. So you can go here and query different things so that those tickets don't show up. So like if you have, say, a closed status and you only want, like, say, these to show up, or it would have to be like it's not, but you can query certain things. So say I don't want any in progress to show up, I can apply that, and then none of my tickets that are in progress to show up, or things like that. So that's how you can query different things, stop different things from showing up there. And just to show you the other area I was talking about. So here you can go to admin, and then you can create like a closed ticket setting, ticket status if you want to do that, and then you just change it to close on a ticket.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jahmaul. Okay. Hi, Ben. He says, I'm back. What's up, Ben? Your first question is a little incomplete. If you don't mind just adding the rest of it, it says ability to rename customer for our internal records that should not show up in the, and then it's blank. But you have a couple of other questions in here that I'll go ahead and address. And so first question is going to be, please show me how to save passwords for assets, local username, and password in Syncro. And so one thing you can do, and I'm in an asset record itself, is go ahead and create custom fields for that information. And then you can use Password Vault in Syncro to encrypt these fields to where someone would need a specific Vault password to let out that information. That segues into your next question, how to set a master password in order to keep those passwords secure. So in the App Center, there's going to be a Password Vault app card. You can easily click into this, and then it'll walk you through that flow. And then that way you can create these encrypted fields on assets. You can create them on customers, and you can even create them on contacts as well. Next question is how to assign device to a user. I want to know who is opening the ticket when user opens a ticket with the system tray. So in your asset overview, and even when you're drilling into an asset, it's really easy to, from this client, go ahead and assign a specific asset to a contact. You can do that easily on the asset overview as well. So I have a contact column here, and I can be reassigning this asset if needed. The best way to find out to pull the information from an agent contact form in the system tray is under policies, and then policy modules. You're able to edit your agent contact forms here. And within an agent contact form, you can make sure that you're specifying not only if your logo is used as well as the information that's seen, but also what you require from that contact who's opening it. So whether it's email, phone number, email and phone, or require email and phone. And then of course, make sure you require their name as well. Next question is how to apply or change new policy to the device if the device is under an old or different policy. A couple ways to do that. In the asset itself, you'll have a policy button here where you can easily change the policy. Also, in all of your assets, you can actually manage these in bulk. You can even create a saved asset search and then go ahead and select all of your assets that you want to manage and then change the policy from here to do so in bulk. Last question, how to create Windows Update policy when you are drilling into an individual policy. That within here, you are going to have the Windows updates. So you want to go ahead and jump into here on the policy itself and create the schedules you're looking for. And then from there, put those on a schedule and tell Synchro what you want it to do for reboot. And then your last question with WebRoot, do I have to create a new WebRoot account in order to utilize WebRoot through Synchro? I already have WebRoot through PAX8. Yes, you would, and we would take over your billing.
Thanks, Hannah. I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple in here. Corey has a question about when a client enters a ticket from the agent on a customer, or excuse me, on a computer, they are not receiving any of the notifications on updates that they've sent. Only the email attached to the organization seems to be getting it. What are we doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. You just don't have it quite set up. So what's going to happen is if a contact is assigned to the asset, it will auto-populate here. If there is not a contact assigned to this asset, then it's going to go to the main point of contact. So that's likely what's happening. You'll just want to make sure, and I know Hannah just showed this, but from the assets tab, you can come in and you're going to quickly be able to assign a contact here. So make sure you have that in here. Let's see here. What else? I've got a couple others in here. So Corey is asking what Splashtop license is best to use with Synchro. We have SOS, but can't seem to get it to work. So it is going to work best with any Splashtop remote support package and the SOS plus 10 and unlimited packages. If it's not working properly or if you can't get it connected, please create a support ticket since we're not able to troubleshoot on this call. If you are using one of those versions, then it should definitely. Vin, I've got your feature request for the ability to limit admin login to specific static IP addresses for admins and not just for other users. And then last one I'll go ahead and grab. So Vaughn is asking, is there a way to process leads from different sources differently? So create a ticket if a lead comes in from an existing customer, but not if it's not an customer. So yeah, really, really great question. Let me share my screen with you one more time. And what's going to happen here is if you go into the admin section and you scroll all the way down to the bottom to the mailboxes, you're going to be able to choose, okay, if it comes in, I want to automatically create tickets from emails to this mailbox. And you would just say only for existing customers. And then you can choose, okay, let's send an autoresponder, but just make sure that you have this selected properly and you should be good to go. Hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandy. I have a couple questions, some feature requests here. First one is from Mitchell. He says, can we add Synchro support chat to website? Not at this time. Currently, it is in the system tray icon only. And then I have a comment here from Fuzi. He says, happy Friday, best team. Happy Friday, best community. Thank you guys all for being here. This is such a blast for us, and we would not be here if you were not here. So thank you, thank you. Fuzi says, we would like to receive an alert as new scripts are added to the library. Yes, this has been requested before. This is super important. We do see scripts get it added pretty consistently. As you guys submit them, I don't know what type of schedule our devs are on, but they are reviewed before we post them there. So I do think it would be super helpful to get some type of notification, maybe like in the release notes or something like that, to just alert you guys like, hey guys, check out these new scripts. And then the last one I wanted to grab here real quick is from Vin. He says, in one ball, Hannah knocked all the pins. And yes, great job, Hannah. That was like 10 in a row and you absolutely killed it. So great job.
I love that. That was awesome. I was like, whoa, really, really good. Okay. Heidi says, is there a place under the customer where we can enter starting balance? We migrated from an existing PSA and some customers have a beginning balance. If we recreate their invoices in Synchro, it will generate a duplicate in QuickBooks Desktop. We want them to see they have a previous balance to pay when they go to Synchro online portal. Yes, hear you. So while there's not a way to actually like create a balance without creating an invoice in Synchro, there's a few things. If there's a ton of customers, I would actually probably just recommend turning off the invoice sync to QuickBooks Desktop while you generate all of those invoices to get them all set up, and then turn the sync back on. If there's like one or two, I think it's preference whether you just let it sync and then delete the duplicate in QuickBooks. But if there are several, I would just recommend disabling that sync create the invoices, because yes, there's not a way to manually create a balance without an unpaid invoice in Synchro.
Okay. I guess I'll go here. I got a couple here. What is that? 1 second. Hold on, there's one accent. Okay, here it is. Sorry about that. So manual. When we go to reports and open balances by customer, select the customer and send statement. We don't see sent email in the email platform we're using. And I guess you're inquiring as how you can view this information. So if you go to admin, let me share my screen with you so you can see what I'm doing here. So if you go to admin here, and you have something called the status dashboard. And here you can see, generally, you'll see all your sent emails. And this is also good, just so FYI for people using like Quickbooks and things like that, you can also see statuses of other things. So say if you have a Quickbooks error or anything like that, you can also see all that information through the status board. And I have one more here. Let me find it. Okay, and this one is from Adam. And you're asking how to preview the customer portal as a customer, so we know what they're seeing exactly. And again, I'll share my screen to show you. So for this, you can go to the customer. Say you go into their account, and there's a link here, links customer online profile, and you can click that link and see what the customer is viewing.
Thank you so much. I have a couple questions in here. They all kind of pertain to each other. So a lot of them have to do with Password Vault. So first question is, will Password Vault also encrypt passwords saved to credentials and documentation? No, Password Vault is specifically going to be for custom fields. So for customers, contacts, tickets, and assets, but really great question. Another one is, let's see here. With Password Vault, do we set up a password for each Synchro user, or is there only a master password that we set up? So it is just going to be a master password. You are going to be the only one who holds a key to that. And the reason why we don't have different ones is just for security purposes. A lot of times, just like an admin wants to have access to that. Completely up to you, but it will be just one master password phrase. You guys, I can't stress the importance of printing off your recovery keys and putting those somewhere, or recovery codes, and putting those somewhere safe, because you truly are the only one who holds the key to that. It's very, very secure. And then Vaughn, so he's asking about printing out a list of encrypted items stored in a password vault and what Synchro object it applies to. There's not a way to print that. And truly, again, it comes down to security. That's just supposed to be something that's very secure, that again, you have the key to, not something that you can just easily go print off. So wanted to make sure that I addressed that. A couple others in here. So have there been other requests to improve granularity on HDD alerts? We would like the ability to customize alerts by drive letter the same way we can for disk space. We would also like to disable or customize responses based on specific event IDs. I'm actually going to share something with you that kind of came to mind whenever I was thinking about different event IDs. What I would actually recommend, if you're looking for different responses and different actions, I would head into your assets in RMM, go to actions and automate remediation. So you could set something up in here based on an event ID. If you haven't spent time in automated remediations, do, because it's awesome. But you can set up your trigger category here, and it could be based on an event ID. So right here, I could say, okay, based on this, I want to go ahead and send an email to the customer, and you can use your different template tags in here. And then you, of course, could come in and you can create a ticket. You can do any number of things. So our pre-populated event log IDs are going to be in here, but if you all go add any other event IDs, those would then show up here. So I always see people have them for like failed logins. If you went and added that event ID, I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's like 463, I don't know, then that would also show up in here. So I would recommend setting up those if you're looking for a different response to populate. And then Fuzi is asking, is there a way to force the chat to pop up? Most of the time our users don't see it. So let me just share my screen with you really quickly since we don't have a ton of questions. I'm just going to go into this chat since we are on this call together. I'm just going to end this and then I'm going to type in a new chat for you. And since I've ended it, then whenever I create a new chat, hi Larry, let's just send that over. I'm going to pop into a remote session so I can show you what that looks like as long as we're not all in the same session here. But it will show up down here as a pop-up if you haven't ended a chat. So I think a lot of times that's what people are asking too, because if you click on your system tray icon, once you have a chat that's open, then it can, it's going to be minimized unless I go in if you give them access to the chat from their system tray icon, but it will populate as a little pop-up down in the right-hand corner if it's a new chat too.
Awesome, awesome. Next question here is from Vin. He says, ability to rename customer for our internal records that should not show to the customer. I will share, I would recommend using custom fields for this. And you can design these to be in any way that makes sense to you. You can create just a regular text custom field, like if there's a nickname, or if you know that they like to be called, I don't know, T instead of Tatiana, something like that, but you don't want to put that on the official records, whatever it might be, you could put it in a custom field just like this. So if you edit your customer profile and then you go to your custom fields in here, you could say edit, and this is where they would be displayed once you build them. So this is step 2. Step 1 is make sure you manage your custom fields. This is where you actually find the settings for that. And then again, you can create text box, checkbox, custom links, drop-down menu, pop-up fields. That one might be interesting. Like if there's, sometimes I see you guys using this if they are past due on their payment, unfortunately. You can rename this to be whatever you want it to be, but you can say, past due, please don't, please don't accept calls, or let them know that they need to reach out to me directly or something like that. So you could create a display alert. So anytime you access that customer's records, it'll say past due. And then I think you guys get the point. It's pretty straightforward there. And then I'll just grab the second question real quick too. It's asking on how to bulk delete or bulk edit customer records if you've imported those from QuickBooks. So if you go over to your customer information, you can either do it this way. So you can kind of go through and just click and bulk actions and delete that way. Or you also have the ability over in our reports section, you can both export and import via CSV. So you could clean it up that way. Customer export, clean it up, and then re-import it back in just right here in the customer import section. So hopefully that helps.
Phew, thank you. Flying through these questions. You going, Jahmaul?
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump in and answer Aaron's right quick. Sorry, wrong one. Okay, feature requests. Is there a way to have Synchro Live go into slow internet mode? Maybe turn off the background images like Zoho Assist does, or turn down the FPS like Splashtop does. It seems Synchro Live needs a pretty decent connection on the customer end, which in my area isn't always the case. As far as I go, that may be a good suggestion. I will enter that in, maybe suggest that to the dev team. But we do know, that our Synchro Live uses a lot of resources, so we are looking at other solutions, currently looking at other solutions to Synchro Live. So hopefully that will get better. Sooner we'll have another solution as far as Synchro Live goes. Just give you a little context on that, Aaron.
Did you have another one in there, or should I hop in? Okay, I think I'm going to hop in. Liz, I'm going to read this one. Again, coming from Kaseya, really enjoying being able to have the contacts and asset integrated into tickets. We have hundreds of clients that call in. With that being said, is it possible to add a new contact for a customer when creating a ticket instead of having to add them in the customer tab first? Okay. I love this request because this comes up a ton. So let me, there's kind of a yes and no response to this. So when you're creating a new ticket and you're creating it manually, no, there's not a way for you to like create a contact at the same time. But let me show you this, because hopefully, depending on how your customers are creating tickets or how you want them to be creating tickets, because we know clients are going to do whatever they want to do anyways. But if you're encouraging one sort of flow, I just wanted to show you in the admin section, if you hop over to email rules here, you see that you do have the ability. I'm just going to go into Larry's here. You can basically make a rule that says anything that comes in to your mailbox. So say they're submitting a ticket and they're using this domain, anything, you could say auto create a contact under the above customer if it doesn't already exist. So this moving forward will save you a ton of time if you can get them to submit tickets to like your support at or something like that. And I understand phone calls are going to happen. This is kind of like a workaround, but if you haven't seen that, this is really good. And then also the other thing too, in the actual customer record. So I think Tatiana just showed different ways to like import your main customers. But if you go into the contacts here on a customer record, if you had all of those contacts in like a CSV, you could import them here so that they would just be in the system already. So hopefully that helps out a little bit, maybe giving you a couple ideas of ways that you could speed that up. But I'm definitely going to pass that request along because we do get it often. So thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Erin has a question. I accidentally found another dashboard, not the main tab one, that showed colored boxes based on ticket times. No idea how I did it. Can you show me how to get back there? Absolutely, I think I know the one you're talking about. So here in the ticket module, there's this view button, and one of your options will be an open ticket dashboard. And so in here, this will give you another dashboard that you could even post up somewhere. There'll be an option to customize the sort on there. And then also with the settings button here, you'll be able to customize colors as well.
Awesome. I think I'm up. Question is from Garrett. I love this. This is a pretty nitty gritty one, but I think this is going to be applicable to all of you guys that are trying to set up your recurring invoices if you're kind of in the beginning stages of testing or beginning stages of implementation. So I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible for you guys. Garrett says, is invoicing all pending ticket charges on the last day of the month a single automation or one for each customer with pending charges? This is a really good question. It is going to be on a customer per customer basis. So I'm going to share this screen with you guys, and we're going to talk about invoicing and how to make your life a lot more beautiful and more automated and just a lot less painful. So yes, under invoice modules, if you go over to your recurring invoices, you can create like you can literally create one that's like recurring invoice template pending ticket charges, just so that one will be easy to clone, something like that. I'm going to use this open office hours testing recurring invoice one, but I think you guys get the point. So yes, you first need to build your first recurring invoice template. This is where you are kind of building the foundation of what you want your invoice to look like every single month. You're building a template, you're creating it for this customer. You're saying, hey, this is how often I want to bill them on this date of the month. Yes, it is going to be in arrears or in advanced last day of the month or a specific date, whatever it might be for you. And then with one single button right here, add any pending ticket charges, it will wrap all of the charges again for this specific customer for you, create the invoice for you on this date of the month. If you want to automatically email, you can go there. So I'll kind of stop elaborating on that. But yes, this is going to need to be done on a customer per customer basis. So if this is all you need to set up, if every single customer is getting a bill once a month on the first and you're pulling in pending ticket charges, use this as your rough draft or like as your original to clone from. So once you set this up in here, go ahead and then just click this wonderful button right here and duplicate it. And then it's going to ask you, okay, who are we duplicating for? and then you choose your new customer there, and then all of those settings will be saved and created moving forward from there. So I'll read the last section of the question. He says, I think I'm in the right spot under invoices, recurring invoices, new schedule, it appears per customer. Yes. Trying to set up my first one, so I want to make sure it's right, since I'm pretty sure I can clone it. Yep, you've been doing it manually. No more. It's going to be all automated for you. There you go. Good job. That's it for me. That's all I had.
Okay, I guess I can go. Let's see. Okay, and this is from Manuel again. I checked the status of the email statements is there, but they're still not, but we still don't know the email account being sent from. So I would suggest you might want to put in a ticket with this. I'm not sure. Are you using FMTP? Do you have that set up on your account? Because if you have that set up on your account, like we can look at it if that isn't set up to outbound, but if you have that set up, we won't be able to look at your outbound emails because that's handled by your server. So, but I suggest maybe you put in a ticket for this, so I can look at it, make sure I'm giving you the right answer, and it's not a better way to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll go ahead and go. Scott is asking, is there a way to clean up our inventory to remove duplicate items or correct items? Honestly, what I would recommend is just exporting, cleaning that up, and then you can re-import into the system. And then Vin is asking, do you have AC? Okay, so for this one, our only ACH payment integration right now is with Worldpay. So although some of the other payment processors that we integrate with have an ACH option, the only one that works with our integration is going to be Worldpay at the time. I always also like to let people know, if you happen to be using QuickBooks Online or Xero, there is a two-way sync in terms of payments too. So definitely an advantage of using one of those accounting platforms too is have Synchro collect all of the data, right? Have Synchro grab all of those tickets and create a recurring invoice, and you could send it through there, and you could use their payment processor, and it would mark back as paid into our system. So those are great seamless integrations too. I can go ahead and grab the one from Vin too. So is Synchro coming up with remote connection software without using browser or any third-party RMM solution? I like it to stay in one ecosystem. I'm truly not sure. Synchro is completely browser-based at the time. Haven't heard any word about that changing, or if we'll be partnering or anything like that, but definitely worth the feature request for sure.
I have an interesting question here from Adam, and I think this is going to be it's kind of I don't want to say it's a touchy subject, but it is going to vary from MSP to MSP. He says, what is the recommended way to stop services for past due clients? Is there a way to get some view that they need to contact accounting when they attempt to open a ticket or something like that? So I have a couple suggestions for you. You can choose which one is a good fit for your specific business. I'm going to share my screen real quick. So in here you have the ability to set open invoice reminders. And let me show you how I got here. If we go over to the admin section, and again, most likely you already have this set up, but for those that don't know, I just want to show real quick. So if we go to admin, invoice section, open invoice reminders, you can set as many of these as you want on whatever schedule that you want. And then you can basically build a template of like, hey, this is overdue. This is the charges that we will be accruing once you are past due X amount. And then, 1 week after, 2 weeks after, whatever it might be, you can pull in different available tags in here and kind of just let whoever is receiving the invoices know, basically kind of like on a schedule, in an automated way. Another suggestion that I have for you, based from your perspective, for you and your team to kind of have a heads up on stopping those types of services. We do have a button in here through the customer profile where you say scripting. Okay, we're going to go ahead and disable that with just one click. And then it's going to stop scripting to the customer. Another suggestion is the one that I showed that says you can say, like, if they're past due, it'll kind of create a pop-up. So if they're calling, you can say, I'm so sorry, I cannot assist you. You're going to need to call my manager's phone number. Here's his cell. We have to accept a payment before moving forward with assisting you, something like that. So those are the suggestions that I have. Again, I'm not an MSP. None of us are. We are Synchro product experts. We're here to show you where to find those specific settings, but this one might be for the community to see if there's something specific of like a, an approach that fits your style of how to handle these types of situations.
Awesome. Thank you. And I was looking at these questions. I don't want to like re-say anything you said. Did you mention at all the being able to like shut off scripts? You did that, right? Okay, good. Just making sure. All right. Awesome. And there's a video on that. I think Andy did a video on that, right? How to use a script variable to shut stuff off based upon the billing status. We might be able to put that there too. The other question that I was just going to grab was, does Worldpay work for Canada, or is there a better processor for Canada where it is cold? So I'm in Eastern Washington, and so is Tatiana, and
it's freezing.
It's cold. I hear you. I want a better payment processor because it's cold. So at this point, Worldpay is not supported in Canada. We do have some new options on the way. But I think Stripe is the option right now, I believe. So I think that's kind of what you'd have to work with at this point, but we are looking at additional options as well. I haven't read this last one from Corey. Has anyone checked it out? Oh, go for it, Jahmaul.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and answer it, and hopefully I'll answer your question, Corey. Okay, we are billing separately from Syncro because we have, for a number of years, as a break-fix operation that we don't want to pull into Syncro. Have you recommendations for simplifying the process of marrying QuickBooks and Syncro, and only have, relevant data pulled into Syncro that you want the two communicate? So, and I'm not sure if this will help you, but what you can do, so once you have QuickBooks set up, you can kind of tell Syncro and QuickBooks what you want to sync. You can go into the settings, and the way you'll do that, so once you're set up, you can go like into the QuickBooks settings. And right now I have QuickBooks Desktop set up. It's in the air state because I haven't ran the web connector in days. But so here you have certain options. So if you don't want, if you want to sync Invoice QuickBooks, you can sync them. If you want the payments to sync up, you can sync them. So you have different options right there where you can sync different information or maybe relevant information. So hopefully that helps.
I don't think this has ever happened.
Yeah.
Friday, especially.
I was going to say thank you, Hannah, for posting that YouTube video. I actually wasn't aware that exists. So Crystal brought it up, Hannah posted it, and I'm going to go click that link and watch that video. It's on how to disable customers based off of a ticket. Looks like ticket status. Billing status. So I'm excited to check that out. Check it out, guys, in the chat box.
Yes. And like we said, everything goes away once I end the Zoom. So yes, you'll have like a gazillion tabs like I normally have. But let's see here. Oh, thanks, Corey. Fridays are fun. And I feel like I've started to just like sit back and you guys go through questions so fast.
We're glad you're here, Crystal. It wouldn't be the same without you. So thank you for continuing to join us for sure.
Anyone want to grab this? Oh, good. Okay, go Hannah.
Yeah, I can wrap this one up. So from Vaughn, where in Syncro are the credential fields located? I only see them in the customer contacts page. So go ahead and share my screen here. And so where he is noticing them, and I'll just show you where he's noticing them there, is going to be in the customer page here. So you're going to have a tab with there's our past due pop-up, with the credentials right here. You can edit these on a per contact basis. Whoops, not there. And so here in your contacts that you'll have the option to go ahead and add a new credential there. And then the other place is actually going to be in the documentation section. And so drilling into one here, if we go ahead and edit one here, that then there'll be also an option to add in credentials. And remember, it is a quick click for them to be internal or public on the customer portal.
Awesome. Thanks, Hannah. And Corey, thank you. We're always wondering, what should we do a deep dive on? So scripting session. Yes, I will find someone that wants to do a scripting deep dive, because that would be awesome. And we need this to live and exist on YouTube forever. So yes, we hear you.
Love it. Love those suggestions. And then any status on Synchro University and also different accesses like admin only, tech only. No update on those, but definitely taking a look at those and talking about it internally.
We're getting a game plan.
Definitely on the radar.
For sure. All right. Well, with 1 minute to spare, that was awesome. A wonderful open office hours again. Thank you all for joining. Please join us next week. Keep registering. We'll be here. And a special thank you to Jahmaul. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day to help us out. That was very valuable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone. Bye.